I don't know what they were saying when they were saying in here he was dancing in an antagonizing motion. Something, I don't know what that means. What is that? Does anybody know what antagonizing dancing is? All right, there should be no, you shouldn't be going to strip clubs. You understand? So I'm going to say no contact with strip clubs. 014 state, and that includes all the strip clubs. Kinsley Parker, can I have parties announced for the record for the state? For the defense?
Wood.
And are you Mr. Parker?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with unlawfully carrying a weapon on licensed premises as a third-degree felony? The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to the plea bargain agreement, there's a $1,000 fine to be probated. State recommends deferred adjudication, and this is to be run concurrent with County Court Cause number 661377. Did you understand that to be the agreement? Defense is at the plea bargain agreement.
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 5 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours community service restitution, no contact with All Star Gentlemen's Club at 9440 IH10 West San Antonio, Benjamin David Covington, Bobby James Yanez, Joseph Ryan Pullen, MTR, and motion to destroy the weapon, which is a Black Glock serial number AY328. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to the offenses charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
Yeah, Judge, before that, it might be a typo, but it should be the MRT course instead of MTR.
You know what, Brenda, do I have something wrong where I'm switching letters? No, it clearly states MRT.
Okay, I wrote MTR. So.
Okay, you know what? Well, we can pretend like you got it wrong and Brittany got it wrong. And that was right.
Yes, you're correct.
But yes, it's the MRT. See, you know what? I'm still gonna fight my ophthalmologist.
Yeah.
I'm not getting bifocals. I'm not gonna do it. Just not gonna do it.
And yes, Judge, state offers states exhibit 1 and all attachments.
Okay.
We've had opportunity to view it, no objections.
All right. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding you guilty as you apply for deferred adjudication. Is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. First, we would waive a PSI to be sentenced today. He would like to address the court as well, but the main issue, Judge, for me, it's the 5 years. I'd like it to be 4 instead of 5. But his main concern has been the number of community service hours. He has a family and children, small children, 30 years of age. The main thing that occurred, in my mind, he moved here from Virginia. He was not aware that that was a crime in Texas to carry a gun. There was no posting. I told him my memory in my 20s when I was going to such places, it was a bar was prominent about no weapons. A stripper club was not prominent about you couldn't, they didn't want to turn anybody away. So it's very hard to find a sign. So he understands, when we talked about this, ignorance of the law is no defense. So he believes, and I advised him, this is the least painful. It's not pain-free, but it's the least painful way out of this mess within which he finds himself. So he's in agreement. He wants to comply. He's totally committed to complying. It's not a drug issue. It's not, I think the TAP will reveal it's not an alcohol issue, but he did make a mistake and he wants to pay for that. He's 30 years of age. The 120 hours is going to cause a hardship. You've got small children and 2 jobs. So I think he would like to address the court with that in mind, Judge. And I talked to him about some courts will allow, if we could reduce it, maybe they didn't pay off some of those hours. But that's what, tell the judge. Actually, you want to call him as a witness, I guess, Judge.
Sure, he can be called as a witness. He's already been sworn in by the
Okay.
clerk. So.
Go ahead.
I start work at I wake up at 5 to make sure I get work. I start work at 7 o'clock at Nemo's Bakery, and then I leave at 3 o'clock to go to my second job by 4. And I work at Burger from 4 to close at 10. So I just don't see.
Is that 5 days a week? 6 days a
That's
week?
6 days a week. And then some of my jobs, I might work 6 days here and then 5 days here. Cause they work with my schedule.
How old are your children?
I got a 2 and a 4-year-old.
And do they live with you?
Not currently. Not currently, they don't. But
Were they living with you during this incident
they were, but
with the mom?
yes, but me and the mom don't go together anymore.
I'm sure after this incident, because she's trying to figure out why you at the gentleman's club.
It was a big situation going on. Yes, ma'am.
You know, some people go to gentleman's club and everything. And what time did this incident occur?
It was around after the bar was closed, so around like 2 something.
You know what I always tell people? Nothing good happens after midnight. That's why you should be at home asleep. And then obviously you've never heard of the song, It's Closing Time.
No, not like
All right, in that song, you know what they say? Last call for alcohol, finish your whiskey or beer. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. They told you, you can't stay here,
gotta go.
and you didn't leave. If you would have just left, we wouldn't even be here. So now they're saying that they don't want you at any any all-star gentleman's club. So it's probably best for you not to go to any of those type of clubs. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You could have been at home drinking. And now when I place you on probation, guess what? You can't drink alcohol anywhere. You understand? So I saw, is there gonna be any marijuana issues with you?
Oh, no, ma'am.
All right, so you're clean.
I don't know right now. I smoke off and on. Sometimes I be needing to smoke. I work a lot, so sometimes I do smoke, but I'm not like addicted.
I know sometimes people need to just do mellow.
Yeah, sometimes I just.
I eat cake to mellow out. I need to stop that. So you're gonna have to choose a new form of what you use to mellow out. Watch a movie, sit outside, you know, listen to the birds. As my grandmother would always say, listen to the birds gossip. All right? How often are you seeing your children?
I talk to them every day, but seeing them, it's our work schedule.
Okay,
Their mom also works.
so then who are taking care of the children?
They stay with their mom. And I also, you know, we're not together, but I'm still in their life full time. I always take care of them, spend money and stuff. We're just in different homes.
Okay, all right, this is what the court is gonna do. Oh, and before I do this, who was the other guy you were with?
It's about halfway through that first name was Tishan, Tishan.
T-Sean Campbell. Probably best that you don't hang around T-Sean because I could see he was a part of the issue. I don't know what they were saying when they were saying in here he was dancing in an antagonizing motion.
I have no idea.
What does that mean? Is it like break dancing where they're having a dance off or something? I don't know what that means. Does anybody know what antagonizing dancing is? Yeah, I'm just trying to figure. I saw that and I was trying to figure out what that was. So
Junior high, yeah.
yeah. So have you been around Mr. Campbell anymore?
I haven't been around anyone from that incident since that night.
So are you okay with me putting a no contact order for Mr. Campbell in this? Okay. So it's going to be $1,000 fine, probated. This is to run concurrent with 661377, 3 years deferred adjudication, 120 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. Court is not requiring you to get the COVID vaccination, but if you do, 40 of those hours will be waived. I'm going to ask for parenting classes. You can do that on your off days. And so once you complete parenting classes, the remaining of the community service hours will be waived. You understand? So there's to be no contact with, should I just say any dancing establishment? What is the proper way to say no strip clubs? Is there a politically correct way to say that? No clubs where women, I mean, where people are removing their clothing? All right, there's to be no you shouldn't be going to strip clubs. You understand? So I'm gonna say no contact with strip clubs. And that includes all the strip clubs in Texas or wherever they may be. You understand? I think it's for the best. And Mr. Wood, if for any reason he wants to change that, I don't know, maybe somebody's having a party there or something, you can come to me and I'll listen to your argument. So there's to be no contact with strip clubs, no contact with Tishan Campbell. That's Tishan Campbell, Campbell. Benjamin Covington, Covington. Bobby, Bobby. Yanez, Yanez. Joseph Pullen, Pullin. Motion to destroy weapon, Black Glock, serial number SY328. There should be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. When's the last time you used marijuana?
Over a month ago.
All right, we're gonna do regular UAs. All right, proof of employment within 30 days. No employment as a home healthcare provider with minors. Do you understand? Okay. So I'm going to give you the moral recognition therapy course right now. Do what's right. You understand? When people ask you to leave a location, leave. You understand? Don't take what does not belong to you. You understand? Abide by the rules of the road. You understand? Be respectful to people. So even though your attorney is telling me that you didn't know you could not carry a gun at that location, and there may not have been signs everywhere, guess what? If you would have been respectful that night, you still wouldn't have been here. Because when they would have asked you to leave, you and your friend, instead of dancing antagonistically, would have just left. That's your class. Follow those rules. You understand?
Thank you.
Probation, is there anything else that he needs?
John, did you want field visits at all?
Yes, we're gonna do field visits one time per month. All right, so what that means is probation is gonna be coming out to look around to make sure that everything is the way it should be. You understand? All right, you're whispering.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
All right, is there anything else that you need from the court in order to be successful?
Could I get a certificate of completion for that MRP? I like that.
Sure, I will give you a certificate of completion.
Very nice, Judge. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. All right, good luck to you. We can go off the record. You have 2 children who are looking up to you. And children mimic everything they see. So be a good role model for them so they can say, hey, I'm proud, that's my dad. You understand?
Yes.
All right, good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Judge.
And are you Mr. Darren Kinsley Parker? All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Darren Kinsley Parker who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2022 CR 4014 for the offense of unlawful carrying a weapon on prohibited places on June 23rd, 2022 for a period of 3 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State.
Violated condition number 26 on or about the 10th day of March 2023 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Darren Kinsley Parker, failed to provide proof of permanent residence by COB March 10th, 2023 in violation of condition number 26.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
I'm guilty for that one.
No, you have to say true or not true.
True.
At state waives all the violations, Judge.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 26, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 26?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 26 true. Is there an agreement?
No, Your Honor. The state is recommending revocation, but I believe defense is asking for the defendant to be continued on his probation.
All right, defense, do you have any witnesses?
No, ma'am.
All right, defense, what are you requesting?
My client has moved to Waller County, as the court is aware, to seek employment, to get employment. He is trying to transfer his case to Waller County.
Did he have permission to go to Waller County?
He called his probation officer and he also spoke with the supervisor.
You want to call him as a witness to find out if he wants to tell the court that he had permission?
Please, how did you get permission from your probation officer?
It was a verbal conversation when I called her and I spoke to her supervisor.
What did you talk about with the supervisor?
I basically was telling her about my situation here in Bear County, about my living situation here. And they allowed me to move to Houston. There were certain things that happened with that address. So I kind of just ran into a situation where I had like no address to prove to the court. And I was staying at a hotel, sleeping in the car some days. I just went through a rough moment and I was working, but everything that I was trying to do, it wasn't working. So I saved up enough money and I
Who is your officer in Houston?
I never applied the address to them, so I never seen an officer or anything like that yet.
All right, so that makes me suspicious of whether or not you had permission to go to Houston because you would need to be supervised.
Yes, ma'am. I was still talking to Miss Aramis Parker, my probation officer here. And I came to court, showed up on Zoom court here.
Do you want me to have Ms. Parker zoom in to here to let me know whether or not you all had a conversation about you moving? Because I mean, we can have her zoom in.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Your Honor, I'll get Ms. Parker on if I may. To bring to your recollection as well, we did have a compliance hearing with Mr. Parker on Zoom. And he was to provide all of the information required per your instruction and just failed to do so. I will get Ms. Parker online real quick.
And I will tell you, I have here Mr. Parker in February. I write everything down. It says defendant to reside in month-to-month hotel and provide address by March 10th, 2023. Provide proof of employment at Jimmy John's. Defendant states employment is aware of his criminal history. And you need to provide proof of current hotel residence.
Yes, ma'am.
And you had approved travel February 22nd through March 10th. And you were allowed to transfer to Prairie View, Texas.
Yes, ma'am.
So were you not in Prairie View, Texas?
I was, but the hotel room that I was staying at, they said that their systems were down. So they gave me a written receipt.
Mhm.
And when I submitted that to Ms. Parker, it just wouldn't hold up for like proof. So I was trying to save money for an extended stay hotel. And instead I wound up saving enough money to get my own apartment. So I just really felt like, instead of.
Did you give them notice of your address at that apartment? That's either yes or no. Not to me.
No.
Did you give it to probation?
No, I sent my lawyer my deposit because I had to wait until the 1st of June to move in. He was waiting, my landlord was waiting for the tenant that was currently there to move out fully. So I sent Mr. Ngelke my deposit that I paid. I believe that was. So I'm just trying to get the
Yeah, but this motion to revoke was filed in April. So all this stuff that you're doing in June is neither here nor there.
Right. Ma'am, I'm sorry. I was unaware that I was had a motion to revoke.
No, what I'm telling you is what you're telling me, what you did after the motion to revoke. Yeah, that's great. But I gave you instructions that you were to provide information. Pardon? Yes, your probation officer is here. And the person who's on Zoom, Miss Parker,
Yes,
That's the
Judge.
probation officer who you're saying gave you permission to go to Houston?
But she was aware that I was there.
Nope.
Yes, ma'am.
What you said is you talked to your probation officer, Miss Parker, and she gave you permission to go to Houston.
Actually, her supervisor, because I had to talk to her supervisor, and her supervisor.
Do you really want me to put the supervisor on here? Because we will put the supervisor by Zoom on here.
I'm just being honest about what happened now.
Excuse me,
All right.
Judge. She's sitting next to me if you'd like her to join in.
All right, thank you. So the supervisor's here. So you're saying the supervisor gave you permission to go to Houston?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Ms. Simonelli, did you give Mr. Parker permission to move to Houston?
Ma'am, I do not think so.
All right. So do you not think so, or you don't know?
This is what I can recall of the conversation. I don't remember the date or the month. I remember he got me on the telephone. He was in crisis. He needed somewhere to go. I told him to go somewhere to be safe and to let his probation officer know where he was going to be after he was safely somewhere. So it was not a permission to move. It was permission to get somewhere to get safe.
Okay. All right. Ms. Parker, did Mr. Parker, who is no relation, I'm assuming,
No relation.
inform you of where he would be living in Houston?
No, ma'am. When he first called to say he had nowhere to go, we did tell him he did not have permission. He needed to get the judge's permission in order to transfer, move. And so because it was a crisis situation that he was telling us, we said, well, you're going to do what you need to do to be safe. So then once we had the compliance hearing, he was supposed to give us a address of where he was going to be at living. He had trouble with that. I think he gave us a handwritten receipt on a piece of paper. And we're like, this is not legit. So we never had confirmation on where he was living. I attempted to call the place at least 4 or 5 times, never could get through. So when we did the compliance hearing with you, I can't remember the dates that you gave him. By the close of business, he needed to have proof of the address. And he never gave us that. So still to this day, we never knew where he lived until I got an alert that he was arrested on Prairie View's campus for an assault. And then at that point, in that police report, it said the witnesses stated that he was living at that dorm or that apartment on Prairie View. So that's when I knew then I was like, okay, well, he wasn't even at the hotel. Now it was some, I don't know if it was the dorm, apartment or something on Prairie View, but once I got the alert that he was arrested for that assault charge, that's kind of where I knew where he was. So no, ma'am, I never had any proof till this day of any address that he was at since he left this county. Since he left Bexar County, excuse me.
Have you been using marijuana since the first time when you were admonished not to use marijuana?
Yes, ma'am. And I was asked to do a drug class. I needed help. I'm not even gonna lie. I kept on smoking. I was being disobedient. Miss Parker.
Disobedience is what a child does. You were violating the court's rule and your contract with the court.
Yes, ma'am.
And now you're before the court, I think, asking for mercy when you have done nothing. Name one thing that you've done on probation that's been asked of you.
I've been doing stipulations to complete my community service. I got
How many community service hours have you done?
Well, I had things in here that they asked me to get a COVID vaccination.
No, my question is, how many community service?
I believe I want to say 40 of them.
Okay, so you've done community service hours. What else have you done?
The MRT course, I completed that.
Which hasn't helped, because that's the moral recognition training, a therapy course. And that's supposed to be teaching you what you should have learned in first grade and kindergarten, that you're supposed to do right by people and follow rules. So that didn't help. So what else have you done?
I don't know, ma'am. I've had a hard time. I've had a hard time.
I clearly put in here that you were to do parenting classes, which tells me you have children.
Yes, ma'am.
No contact with strip clubs, which tells me there's an issue with you in strip clubs. And I don't know if that's the politically correct. I would say no contact with places where people take off their clothes for money.
And I haven't been in one.
All right.
You told me.
Yes. So basically you haven't done what the court has asked for you. And I've given you chance after chance with regards to your address. I do, my mind is a steel trap. I remember the Zoom with you at the hotel room and me telling you, this is what we need from you. And the probation officer is right. They had no duty to pick up the phone and try to call places for you. That was all on you. Probation officers are underpaid and they have hundreds of people that they're supervising. And they can't handhold everybody because you're an adult. It would be different if this is juvenile court or they're dealing with babies. With babies, you gotta keep them on task. You're supposed to be on task and you're not. No less than 4 or 5 times I had compliance hearings for you. We addressed the issues with your address and you didn't do what was asked of you. That's a problem. All right. All right, the court is finding you guilty. The court will grant the motion, not grant you community supervision. The court will sentence you to 2 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. All right, thank you. Good luck to you.